the purists of Formula One kind of like seeing what's happening in terms of the entertainment value. You see what the product is going to be here at Vegas, and they're going, oh well, back in my day it was just bloody racing. But I like that element. I like because there's so much hype around it. I know it's probably because it's the first Grand Prix, the first time we're going there. It was like Miami last year. But I'm seeing people over there. I'm genuinely like, man, I wish I was there. Mostly just to be in Vegas. Remember when the fun stop. But it's that level of hype that I've not seen at a new track probably ever.
I think,
and that's why it's exciting, man. There's so many different things you're gonna experience this weekend just because it's Vegas.
I think the hype around Miami was not as much, but similar.
It was
probably like 50% the hype of this, I think.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of it. Like, obviously, Miami hasn't ended up being a great race. I think the restriction, if we're talking about the actual motor race itself, which is why we're all here, it's been a bit disappointing. And I think that's maybe fed into the cynicism a bit. I think if Miami had been really good and been a pleasant surprise to a lot, because a lot of the noise around it was exactly the same noise in terms of the cynical perspective. Is like, we're just here for money, which of course that is why we're in Miami. Let's not try to beat around the bush. But I think if that had done better, I think there would be less cynicism around it. But at the same time, say back in my day. Well, back in my day when we raced in Vegas, we raced around the little car park, didn't we?
Exactly. Yeah, that wasn't. That seems crazy, man. You've got such a glamorous place or such an eccentric place like Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That really sums up like olden day Formula One, I think. Where they were just like, you know what? We've got a location here. We've got fucking Las Vegas. Where should we do the track? Car park, mate. Yeah, fuck it.
You can put a car anywhere in the world. There's nothing redeeming about a car park. Yeah, it could be the Sainsbury's in Kidderminster.
Yeah. Actually, no, or it could be in Dubai. It's still a car park. Just the cars change.
Yeah, I think the way they are doing it to actually utilize the strip. If you're going to have a Vegas Grand Prix, this is how you do it.
You have to do that.
You have to do it.
You have to play off that. Have you seen the curbs? And they've got like the
I like that.
I like that.
Nice little touch.
They've got the spades, the clubs, the hearts on them, which is sick. I like that.
I like when tracks do that. Austria does that with runoff areas in red and white. Brazil does that with yellow and I think it's yellow. Or is it green? I think it's green and yellow.
Yellow, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, nice little touches. But yeah, I think look. Vegas, I want it to be good. Of course, I want it to be good. F1 are running this event themselves. Yeah. So again, most events, F1 is essentially the one getting paid. Almost, you've got the promoter. So say for pretty much every single race, you've got a promoter. Say Silverstone, for example, who they are stumping up the money and then hoping to make that money back in terms of ticket sales and stuff sold, whatever. F1 have put, we know it's over 500 million. It's probably a lot more than that. It's only going out. F1 are putting their own money into this. There's no promoter, there's no Vegas promoter. They're putting a lot on the line, which I think does explain to an extent.
It's a gamble, you could argue.
Yeah. This guy's good.
Sorry about that.
This guy's good. You know what? It is a gamble. And I think that explains why, we've seen. Look, we can't expect to go onto the official social media accounts and of the teams and F1 and all that, and then to be really cynical about the race. Of course, they're going to hype it up, but they're even more incentivized to hype it up, right? Because they've signed up for this for 10 years. So if this race doesn't work, there's a problem.
10 years of pain.
What defines to you a successful Vegas Grand Prix?
Honestly, just a race that I can look back on. Because the hype is there, the extravagance is there, all of that sort of jazz. That's going to be sick. You have the sphere, which we'll talk about, and whatever. You've got the fact that it's on basically, in essence, a Saturday night, all that jazz. It's going to look and feel exciting just from the outside stuff, right? So then all that really needs to happen, they're going to put on a good show, but then I need to see a race that I look back on and go, that was at least like a 7 out of 10. Or see some potential. I remember when we first went to Baku and it was a shocker.
True.
The first race we ever went to Baku was appalling, but I think the what's it called, the support races went there as well and just fucked up the base. It was just crashes all over the gap. Didn't know what it would like. Whatever.
It's often the case,
and that has been the case ever since. Yeah. In F2, I just need to see some potential, and I think there should be because you look at the track, it's straight, massive straight line. corners, massive straight line. There should be overtaking opportunities, providing DRS isn't too overpowered. There should be an opportunity to keep the pack quite close together and see some level of good racing. I don't see why not. But that's what I think will define a success. Because again, that even this year, you look at the hype about Miami in comparison to last year. To me, it was just another Grand Prix already. And that was just off the back of one bad
100%.
race. Vegas, slightly different. I think people would give it a little bit more time because, again, it's even more of an experience, even more entertainment off the track. And it's even more unique than Miami, which is just, in essence, a kind of a track that's kind of just been built in Miami. Vegas has...
Kind of in a car park,
around the stadium. In essence, it's around the stadium. Whereas Vegas is the strip. Which has even more value.
It would be like having the race in Miami Beach.
Yeah, exactly. I would probably give it a bit more time if it was. But again, Miami just sort of already kind of faded into that the track now.
That's a good point about Miami, actually, because I feel like, I went last year, and obviously going there and seeing it yourself, and you got that experience that very few people are going to get. The vast majority of people watching it TV, and then so when we had the most recent Miami Grand Prix, and I'm watching it on telly, I'm not getting any of that magic of Miami, and I do wonder how much of the Vegas magic they will be able to kind of show on the TV.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, to make it really stand out relative to one of the more, I don't know, like a Monza. I think Monza does a good job. They do a good job of really capturing the Tifosi hype.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think he does a really good job of that. So that's what I'm. I'm interested. It will be definitely a challenge for the broadcaster to make this show look as good as it should look. Because a race in Vegas, on paper, in terms of a street circuit, anywhere in the world, you've got to say that ticks the most boxes.
Yeah,
surely.
Yeah, sure.
It's the most artificial place in the world.
Yeah. They have crafted the entire place and the trackers. I mean, even the track you kind of look at and go, yeah, they've made it like this just to make sure that there's a lot of overtakes. Surely.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's fucking. Are we just going to get DRS overtakes? That's my worry, right? Because no one's tested there. This is the first time at the track. There's a lot of concerns around they've just have had to retarmac it all.
Temperatures as well.
It's going to be 5 degrees Celsius, maybe.
Wavy. It's gonna snow. The first ever snowy Grand Prix in Formula One history.
Snow in
Las Vegas.
Snow in the desert.
Yeah.
Bring the snow. You know what? I wouldn't put it past Vegas.
Yeah, honestly.
When Bernie Ecclestone used to say about sprinklers, that's the kind of shit that Vegas promoters would pull just to drop it on. But I don't know. I think that there's rightfully concerns around the tyres and the temperature, especially did you see that quote from Ross Brawn?
No, what did he say?
I'm paraphrasing, but basically didn't even consider that it would be cold.
Oh yeah, no, I did see that. Yeah. That's absolutely wild. Surely there's probably about 3 things that you check when you book a date in the calendar of right, there's going to be a Formula One race there. One of them has to be the weather. Surely you've got to look at the weather forecast or the last couple of years and go, right, is it going to be warm? Is it going to be cold? Is it going to be pissing it down? You wouldn't go Malaysia in because it will just flood every year.
WikiHow, right? And you go facts about the desert I didn't know. The first one's always going to be, it's actually really cold at night.
Yeah.
By the way, that's just normal in the desert.
In every desert ever.
You could have asked anyone who lives there, just one person. What's it like at midnight in November? It's bloody Baltic, mate. Thank you. I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't say it quite like that.
Bloody Baltic in Vegas.